Well, hello, everybody. It is the Dennis and Andy show with another comic book review. This time, we're not talking about a single issue. We're talking about the first year, first 12 issues, Transformers. Issue 12 came out a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was last week.
I think it was last week.
All right, last week. And right out of the gate, I'll tell you this. I never read Transformers as a kid. Couldn't get into the artwork. I didn't really it just wasn't my cup of tea. Wasn't even the art. I didn't read it when IDW had it, but once it was starting fresh, number one, I was like, okay, good jumping one point. It's through Skybound, which is Robert Kirkman's part of Image, and Daniel Warren Johnson. When the book started off, artist writer. I do know his work. I haven't read anything of his before, but I like his art. And the one thing I liked from an art standpoint is I think one of the things with Transformers that always kind of turned me off is I was like, oh, I never want to draw that because it's so technical, straight lines, rulers. And then I'm looking at what Daniel's doing, and he's like, he's got this really kinetic, frenetic, like energy to his work. It looks like he's probably using a ruler here and there. But then when he starts penciling it, but when he inks it, it looks like it's all freehand. It's organic. It's just this fresh look on the Transformers.
So what's interesting is you and I are exact opposites on this one. I grew up not only watching the Transformers.
It shows you like a shitty football team, and I like a good football team.
Yeah.
Exact opposites.
We're both 1-1, so you can't go there.
Hey, number five. Number five. I'm number 4 in the rankings at 12. You're number 5. Let's talk about the Transformers.
Wrong show. That's wrong show.
Sorry, guys.
So, like I said, we are opposites on this. I love the original Transformers. I collected the Marvel versions of it. I love the TV show, and I love the technical straight line designs. I fell in love with that artwork, and I was like, love
How many
this
issues
stuff.
did it run through Marvel? Do you know?
Oh, was it like 88?
All right, so almost 100.
Yeah, okay. So it was up there because
7 years or so.
I enjoyed it. I really, really liked it. And this one, when they rebooted it, what drew me to it was going to be a shared universe with G.I. Joe. I'm like, all right,
yeah,
I got to give this a shot, to do it. And when I saw some of the original sketch of Danny Warren Johnson's stuff, I'm like, doesn't have that feel. It doesn't have the straight lines. I just don't know if I'm gonna like this, because it's not what I wanted out of it. Well, obviously, 12 issues later, you guys know it from my quick flips. I have held through it. I love the storytelling in this, and the artwork. It works. His versions of this absolutely works.
Yeah.
And to mirror what you're saying, it is organic. It feels like it comes to life. And I was very surprised at how much I really did enjoy what he's done. You can see Energon Universe.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a great story that is involved with this because, a lot of the Transformers origin is somewhat similar, how they come to Earth. But, this time, G.I. Joe is aware of their presence, and they do a really good job in the first issue and, tying the two of them together.
Well, I thought the other thing he does really well, too, is, and Daniel's writing the whole thing, the past 6 issues or so have been drawn by Jorge Corona, who has a very similar style to Daniel's. I mean, it's different enough, but it has that organic feel. So I'm glad that switching like that, it still connects. I hope Daniel does come back. Anyhow, I was going to say Daniel does a really good job, I think, for a guy that's never read the Transformers stuff really before and only seen the movies, honestly. I think he does a great job of establishing the characters, Optimus Prime, the different Transformers. He, of course, there's a human aspect to it. There's loss of life that, is pretty impactful when it happens. We're not doing spoilers and stuff. And he really does a nice job of creating these three-dimensional characters and really making you care about them.
Yeah, like here's an example of like the Ark when the Ark crashed into of the mountain. Again, I'm used to the very technical version of it, and but the detail is so good and it is so organic. You can see how banged up and
Yeah.
everything you know that they were.
Oh,
And
that right there. See, sorry, I just gotta say that is what I mean. It's technical, but it's not like if you look at what Marvel did in IDW, that stuff was just so much more almost tech manual drawing looking,
yes.
which is good. Don't get me wrong, but I gravitate towards this much more.
Yeah, and even the fight scenes and stuff. Like I said, I've always enjoyed even the cartoons and what they did. But you know, everything is more vibrant, more fluid. You know, in this setup. There is character deaths in this. We won't, you know, delve into that too much, but it is really cool how they set it up. Obviously, you don't see Megatron, so you know that's a little bit different than the origin that you would have gotten from Marvel. But yeah, like I said, this is just great. There's another great scene
Yeah, Daniel does
right
a
there.
he does a great job of his pacing and panel flow with um, where to put the big impactful panels and stuff. Um, the coloring can't forget about that. The colorist is Mike Spicer. You know, it's definitely a total package collaboration because he sets up nice moody scenes with the color palette he chooses. Um, it's just really good. What issue is this one? Is this
So
the
this
latest
is the
one?
current one. This
Current.
is 12. Just read that this last week. And again, you know, jump not going to be any real spoilers, but you know, you get to see Devastator right up in there. And they introduced Devastator a while back and how they transform and combine. And again, really a really great job with it. But yeah, this is Jorge's artwork. And again, when you change artists, a lot of times it's going to change the feeling of the book. And I was kind of like, we'll see how that goes. But, you know, his style fit in very well. And I think when they realized with him, with Daniel doing all the writing and stuff, you know, they needed something that would flow because that's a lot to put together to write
Right.
and draw and everything. So, yeah,
But it's
this
just
works.
it's not jarring. And to give an example, and maybe we'll do a review of this series down the road, but GI Joe. GI Joe, you know, IDW or Skybound rebooted with issue 301. That's their number one. They want to keep the numbering going. And it started off with art by Chris Mooneyham, whose work I just love. You went to the Kubert School, you can see that influence in it. Beautiful work. Well, after the first story arc, so he could get moving on the next one, they brought in a different artist who's been working on it for the past 6 issues, and it's Paul Pelletier. I know Paul, worked across them together, love Paul's stuff. But if you look at Chris's stuff and Paul's stuff, it is night and day. Night and day. It's been 6 issues now, 5 or 6 with Paul. So I'm, you know, issue 12 of that, I think, came out today. I know an issue came out today. I think it is 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first year of that. And I like Paul's stuff, but it's so jarring from Chris's. But it is good work. It just took me a few issues to get into with his versions of the characters. Anyhow, what they did here on Transformers, I think, worked better because it's different, but it doesn't pull you out of it, you know.
Yeah, it's still very fluid. And again, the storytelling, you know, I've enjoyed it because there is a beginning, a really middle, and an end to the, you know, each comic. You don't have these long, drawn out that go over 3 or 4 where it's just like one ultra big story. But there is a giant story that's coming up, but it's self-contained. It moves along. The way it's written, like you can hear Optimus Prime's voice.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, when Starscream was speaking, you can hear his voice if you had watched the show, because the vernacular that they write in is very close to what you would interpret yourself if you were trying to write it. What would they
Oh, yeah.
sound like? Yeah, they
This
do a
guy,
great job.
Daniel, is definitely a Transformers fan. If I met him, and I've never met him, but if I did, he was like, "Oh, I never knew anything about it. I knew about it, but never read it or whatever until I wrote it." I'd be shocked because he does a great job with that. So
Yeah.
well, let's CGC this puppy. That's our score between 0.5, which is the lowest, up to a 10.0. This is obviously, I think you can tell we're going to like it. I haven't bought a monthly book on a 12 issues in a row. This G.I. Joe, I haven't done that in a long time. Go right ahead, Mr. Turner.
I am giving Transformers a 9.0. It is a great book. I've already told my comic book store, anything that comes out, G.I. Joe, Transformers, just automatically add it even if I miss it, because Skybound Image is doing such a great job integrating these two properties. This Transformer one is top notch. And talking to the guys down at the comic shop, because, you know, we do like to hang out and chat, I don't know anybody who hasn't completely loved it, and they have dropped almost no subscriptions to it. So, you know, that is a true testament. So kudos to you guys. And 9.0, absolutely recommend this series.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 9.0 as well. I would actually like to see a black and white edition for the artist in me. I know it's gone into multiple reprintings and stuff. They definitely have a winner on their hands. So if you like fast-paced action, even if, look, I'm a superhero guy, I like it. I think it's great. It gets a 9.0 for me as well. Guys, go check this out. And of course, you know what else you're going to want to check out? Oh, you know it. Let's all say it together. It is Kor-Drath, The Awakening by myself and Dennis. If you're the first timer to the show, this is our newest project. Kor-Drath, The Reckoning was the first book. This is the next one in the Kor-Drath saga, Barbarians. If you like Dungeons and Dragons, Conan, Game of Thrones, you will like Kor-Drath. He teams up with his lover, Adriana, who's a sorceress. There she is. And they have to defeat Vordoom the Undying, the Necronite, and Lilith to save the Shattered Reach. Want to find out more? Click on the link below and peruse it at your leisure. Just added this great poster by Bud Root and Dan Lawless featuring Adriana and Lilith. They were 2 variant covers. You can still get them. They're both still available. So check that out. And we've got lots of great stuff. We've got a game module that Dennis wrote. He wrote one for the first campaign. He wrote a new one for this campaign. Preview pages, of course, are up too. So guys, go check it out. The link is in the description below. Lots of great perks and options for you. We know you'll enjoy it. It's because of your guys' support that let us do this stuff. So thank you for watching. We will be having a movie review again.
So when you guys watch this Thursday morning, Thursday night, we go to see our movie, and then Friday morning, we will have the movie review.
What are we seeing this week, Dennis?
We are seeing the Matt Walsh movie, Am I Racist?
No, what's the movie? We know you're racist, but what's the movie we're seeing? Yes.
Still going to see that. Still going to see that
Set them
movie.
Up.
Always does. Always does.
Always
now, guys, we know this is a controversial movie, but doesn't matter. We got to see it. We pick our movie out each week, and we'll give it an honest review and see if we like it.
That's right. That'll drop Friday. Next week, we'll be back at 3 p.m. on Wednesday for another exciting episode of The Dennis and Andy Show. Until then, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Live long and prosper.